Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the Even Your Dynasty Show. We've got Giants' fifth round draft pick, special guest today, Jacob Christian, joining us. Thanks.
Yeah, you got it. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Happy to be here.
yeah, awesome. He's going to be the first of hopefully many, players, different people that we're hoping to bring in here from time to time. But you were the first, so appreciate that. It's
Sweet.
awesome. It's something
Yeah.
with the young players, prospects like you. I don't feel like you guys get as much, opportunities to kind of get your stories out there and things like that.
Right.
So it's just
Right.
something that I really want to focus on. So
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah, yeah. So the first thing I had on here, because I know you're from San Diego originally. I know you
Yeah.
said in the green room you're not really a Chargers fan, but anymore. But and you went to school down there and everything. So
Right.
did you grow up rooting for like all the San Diego teams or?
Yeah. So when the Chargers were in San Diego, that's when I watched them with my dad and family. We were kind of, I wouldn't say diehard Chargers fans, but we kind of followed them a lot more than what we do now, especially after they left. But Padres too. We were kind of the two Padres and Chargers fans. So that's kind of when I grew up, centered around the sports wise.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I bet you're happy to go to school out there too, kind of their hometown
Oh
area.
yeah, it played like a pretty big role in like my decision making process when I kind of was choosing colleges. Just I kind of wanted to be home, you know. And now
Yeah.
like since I'm not playing baseball at the university anymore, it's really convenient for me to go back to school and finish my degree during the off season, which was pretty important.
I was going to ask, who else did you have offers from?
So out of high school, I didn't really have any like Division 1 offers, but we kind of talking about like out of high school or more of like when I entered the transfer portal.
Yeah, kind of like a
Either
mix of
or.
both. Yeah, just
Yeah,
they were interested.
yeah. So when I was in high school, I didn't really have any like Division 1 offers. I had maybe, I mean, a few like D3 NAIA and like Division 2 offers, and I mean the whole COVID like you could say that like it impacted me, which it did, but I really just didn't get like that full recruitment and my junior year, which is kind of when it affected me. But I mean, senior year, like I did okay, like pretty good. I was always projectable, but I feel like I got, underlooked quite a bit with
Yeah.
recruiting in high school. And then I kind of got, some D2 and just like lower, conference offers. And I kind of was about to go to a JUCO before Point Loma Nazarene came around, and they offered me like right after my high school season ended, and they kind of took a chance on me because I mean there were a few other people who wanted to, but I mean nobody was really committed to me, and nobody valued me enough to
Mhm.
show me that they wanted me at a high level. And Point Loma was, although D2, pretty high level D2, so I
Yeah.
took a visit and kind of took that and ran with it.
Nice.
But after my sophomore year, I entered the transfer portal, and that's when like the big time, SEC, ACC, Pac-12, Big Ten, like all those big time schools came around. Um, yeah, it was pretty crazy. Just like when I entered the transfer portal, my phone it wouldn't stop ringing,
Blowing up.
would not
Yeah.
stop ringing. But
Did you always kind of know you wanted to stay at home, or?
when I entered the portal, I kind of had an idea that I wanted to maybe stay close. But if I fell in love with another school, like when I was in the process, I was going to go somewhere else. But
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, before you transferred over to USD, what other offers did you had or have at that time as far as D1 schools go?
yeah, so the biggest one, or some of the biggest ones were Ole Miss, Texas, Oregon,
Yeah.
Vanderbilt, um, UCLA,
Nice.
just Washington. I have a whole list, but it's like a lot of the SEC and some of the ACC was Michigan, Big Ten,
Hmm.
just schools like that, you know,
Yeah.
and with the whole NIL process, like the whole NIL stuff going on in today's world, it complicated the process, you know, just I didn't want money to dictate where I was going to go to school, because ultimately my goal of entering the transfer portal was to, you know, play professionally. And, you know, money is a very attractive thing in many ways. And it's just like it can have an effect on you. And I've seen it happen to, you know, former teammates where they go and chase money and go somewhere and they maybe don't have the best fall, or you know, whatever happens, they get hurt and, you know, they don't play. And you know, I saw USD as an opportunity where I felt like right off the rip, I felt, you know, valued by the coaches before I was even there. You know, he treated me just so great. Just when we were on the phone, he did everything. You know, he gave me like a virtual tour on FaceTime of the campus, because I wasn't even in town. And, you know, I just really felt loved, and I felt like, you know, I could really develop at that program and continue to develop from where I was. So ultimately, I just, you know, kind of had to overlook a little bit of the money aspect in regards to like NIL and stuff. But I feel like looking back at it, it was the right decision no matter what, because, you know, during the process, I kind of told myself, like, no matter what happens, you know, I'm happy with my decision of coming to USD. Whereas, you know, if I chased some money, I could have been, you know, unhappy with my decision, just no matter what, you know, it turned out. So
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds awesome. I mean, it sounds like it was a good situation where you got to play, you got to be close to home. I mean,
yeah.
that's a great spot. Did you play any other sports growing up? Did you always kind of know it was going to be baseball, or?
So growing up, I actually played soccer for probably 10 years, and I played like t-ball and little league and stuff, but it wasn't very competitive. And, you know, I played soccer for, I think, just like a really long time. And once like they both started to progress a little bit and kind of got to where you can't really play both at the same time if you want to play at a higher level, that's kind of when I decided to play baseball. Just because soccer, you know, I'd been playing it for so long, I just felt burnt out, you know, and the coaches around me they just made me feel like I was losing my love for the game. Whereas baseball, it was just still very fresh, you know, and that's ultimately where I decided that I was gonna, you know, go and try my best and play baseball, and hopefully to play, you know, at the next level, college, and, you know, dream of professional. So
Yeah,
Nice.
nice. Yeah, I know. It kind of worked out good for you. You hit what, 28 home runs in one season over there?
yeah, at USD I hit 26, and at Point
26.
Loma I hit 28 the year before. Yeah.
So did you always kind of view yourself as a power hitter?
Honestly, no. I hit 3 homers, I think, my whole high school career.
Yeah.
But, you know, my freshman year at Point Loma, I started hitting started getting stronger.
Yeah.
I kind of grew into my body a little bit more. Started like utilizing my movements a little bit more efficiently, and then things just kind of started to click after that. You know, just like all of that together, just really helped me hit the ball hard and far.
Nice. Nice. Did you feel like it was more like getting stronger? Or did you feel like you know, something, you know, utilizing your swing to the best for your power stroke? Did you feel like, which one do you? Yeah.
It's so hard to say, just because like I wasn't super strong coming into college, and I got like a lot stronger, which definitely helped me hit the ball like harder. But I would say like the most important thing is like you can get away with not being strong if you move your body efficiently. So I think that just it's like really hitting a lot and learning my body and my swing helped me out. Really just kind of like get my swing a little bit more consistent, and then
Yeah.
use that strength to on top of it.
Nice.
Now, going on that topic, since you've been drafted by the Giants, have they talked to you about making any kind of swing adjustments, or do they like where you're at? How do they envision your role going forward with the organization?
Yeah, for sure. And kind of when I first got there, they kind of wanted to just, you know, watch and just see how I moved and how I went about my business before they even really wanted to say anything. But I think to be honest, I think that where I am right now is a fairly good spot, pretty good spot, you know. But some minor things, just maybe since I'm a big guy, you know, so it's hard to be like super mobile. And one thing that we did talk about was just like kind of lifting in certain ways that like makes me more mobile in order to use like my lower half and kind of body just more efficiently and kind of unlock more power and consistency throughout the swing. So that's kind of like the only thing. I wouldn't say it's like anything major, just really just minor mobility stuff.
Nice.
Gotcha. Now shifting over to the defensive side, I see you have a little third base in your background. Was that something you went away from in high school, or is that something when you went over to Point Loma that they kind of shifted you over to first in the corner outfield spots?
Yeah, so in high school I always played like the corners first and third, and then once like my senior year I played right field pretty much the whole year. I feel like just being versatile in general has helped me just like with moving around and making positions for me to play on the field. It's not one specific position. It's easier to get not only me but other guys that not necessarily can play other positions in. But I strayed away from third base a little bit after high school. At Point Loma, I played first base only for 2 years. So I do feel really comfortable there. But once I got to the Giants organization, we started kind of circling back to third base, and I played a few games out there in Arizona at third, and we just try to do a lot of early work and just extra repetitions out there. So kind of just building my skill set at third. I definitely know that I can play third with the right amount of reps. So
nice.
Yeah, I can definitely see them trying that out as you get a little bit further along in the minor leagues. This organization, kind of like the Dodgers and even the Padres to an extent down in your area, really like to maximize versatility, especially in the infield. So
right, yeah, for sure. So when you got drafted, who called you? We had somebody ask.
Who called me? My agent. I actually didn't get a call from the Giants. Yeah, I had.
Okay.
They called me and just told me that they wanted to select me in the 5th round, and
Okay.
I was happy with it just because I knew how great of an organization the Giants were, and I was really happy with it.
I bet it's kind of nice that it's a California team too, huh?
Right. Yeah. There's 15 of the teams go to spring training in Florida, so that was like I had my fingers crossed the whole time that I was going to be somewhere in Arizona. So that panned out well. I'm a little bit closer to home, and
yeah, I mean, that's what, a 2-hour flight, 2.5, maybe.
Oh yeah, so I drove and it was like 5 hours, which I could do that in a day pretty easily.
yeah.
So
That's nice. Just depends on LA traffic, how long it takes to get to the Bay Area. So, let's see, what do I have here?
Another good thing too, while we're on that topic, is every minor league team outside of Richmond's on the West Coast as well. So
Yep.
I'm sure that's cool. You can definitely have family in pretty much any of your games at some point.
Yeah, so. It's so nice. Just on the West Coast, I had a lot of my family like able to come when I was playing in San Jose. I think like Fresno, and when we were playing a little bit closer, it was just it was really easy for them to come. So I really liked that.
Yeah, it'll be nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, when you get up into high A, I'm up in the Pacific Northwest, so when you get up into high A, I'll definitely be catching at least one of your games up here.
Yeah,
at some point.
Yeah,
for sure. So when during that draft process, did you guys have like any kind of ideas of like different teams that might be looking at you? I know sometimes it comes out that like people have like agreements almost in place like ahead of time. Did you have anything like that? Or
I didn't have any agreements. I knew that there were like a good few teams that really wanted to pick me, and I knew that the Giants were one of them. But when I talked to it was our area scout, he told me that they had been talking about me a lot in the meetings, and that they didn't have a 2nd or 3rd round pick, so it was just gonna be tough with their they want their first guy, obviously, and being like a fringe, third or fourth pick, it was tough because they didn't know if I was going to be around at the time. So other teams that were really interested in me, I thought, the Tigers, they seemed like, they were like gonna pick me. Like the whole process was weird, but I'm so thankful that the Giants picked me, and I don't want to be anywhere else. But there were a lot of teams who, I feel like that's how the draft goes for everybody. It's like almost like the most interested teams in you, like, don't pick you.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes the teams that you didn't go to the workouts for, or like you didn't, do some things. It's just like, they pick you. So that was cool though. It really
makes
showed
sense
me
with Tigers.
It really showed me how much they valued me, as a player. So not having that second or third round pick, and then being the third overall pick in the fifth round, that really showed me how much they cared about me, other than the other teams who had multiple picks in the second or third or fourth round who oversaw it. So
for sure, it makes sense the Tigers were interested, since they're they're I don't know if he's the president of baseball operations, but Scott Harris came from the Giants front office, so I'm sure similar mindsets there. But were you pretty sorry, I would say, were you pretty confident that you were gonna sign with more than likely whoever drafted you, like if it was above a certain round, give or take, or were you kind of on the fence? Because I know you had more eligibility with college. That's where baseball is always so unique, because you guys can opt to not sign if you wanted.
Right. I felt like I knew that, like, deep in my heart, that I wanted to sign, and that I was more than likely going to sign. But like, I was also a little bit on the fringe with just like, as it got close to the draft, like my advisor told me that it was probably going to be like midday 2, which, I was hoping that it would be like a little bit earlier than that, which was okay, but I told them that, I probably wouldn't sign if a team would kind of underslot me by a lot. And, I told them the number that I was fine with and that I thought would be fair to me. And, the Giants kind of came right around that number. And, I knew in my heart that I wanted to play professionally. And, looking at it kind of at a other perspective, is if you go back to school, there's a lot of risk involved as well. Being a junior is kind of like the year where you have the most leverage. Being a senior, you get pretty heavily underslotted, more likely than not. And no matter what, if you have like an amazing year, you're gonna go. But like, there's a lot of risk involved, and I've already taken a lot of risk with leaving Point Loma and everything. So I knew deep down in my heart that I was gonna sign once they called.
That's awesome. Yeah. Have you been up to Oracle Park yet? Have you?
I actually watched. We were playing USF in the spring, and me and a few teammates went to one of the games. It was really cool.
Yeah. Okay, day game or night game?
I think it was like mid. I think they were playing. I don't know. They were playing the Reds. Okay. Is that one game that Ellie De La Cruz, like, it was like a routine ball, and he just like lobbed it and threw it away, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was like,
so it was this season.
Yeah. It was a couple months ago.
Okay. Nice. Yeah. The park plays incredibly different from the daytime to the nighttime.
Right.
I've only been to San Diego a handful of times in my life, but I don't know, with them being on the coast, like the marine layer, I don't know if it like really comes in thick or not. I know Petco used to play huge before they moved the fences in a good amount, but like San Francisco, the marine layer blows in, and it turns into a different animal.
It gets cold at night, just a heads up.
Yeah. I feel like that's most places at night, it kind of just doesn't fly the same. But when I played in Petco, it was kind of a graveyard. So
just curious, just from seeing Oracle, because obviously you see the dimensions of the field and the walls and triples alley. How do you think your game would translate there?
I think it would translate well. I'm pretty good in that oppo gap, and especially when I elevate the ball. I think I could put one of those balls, in the water over there. So that'll be fun to see. So
Yeah.
I think my
This
game will
happened for the
translate.
first time.
I know. It's kind of a bold statement, but
yeah,
when I elevate, up and away, it can go far. So.
Love the confidence though.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the one you got in San Jose. I mean, I didn't get the final number on the distance, but I mean, I remember seeing that going. That might have had a chance even in right center at Oracle.
Right. Yeah.
Crushed.
Yeah, that was awesome. So nice.
Have you met any players on the current big league team yet?
I haven't. I've only met, I think it was Jordan Hicks.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, he's the only guy I really met because he pitched for us in San Jose.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A couple weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, how was the first taste of pro? Because you get drafted and you go to, I know what they moved the complex league like all those games like got moved way up this season. So unfortunately, like new draft picks I think this is the first year that you guys couldn't really play in the last month or so of complex league games.
Right.
They do the extended. Is it just kind of more like simulations, or are they still kind of competitive games against other squads? Like, how do they do that nowadays?
It's still pretty competitive. It's more of like a competitive sim game. They roll innings and they do things that you wouldn't normally do in a game. But at the end of the day, it's really good because you just get a lot of the bats, and it's kind of low pressure, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
But it kind of shows your true colors. Nobody in the stands. Like, you don't really get that adrenaline. You gotta get in there and do what you would, no matter what. So I think it was good at the end of the day. But yeah.
Good for what it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was no stats. It's like you're not like you're able to work on new things, like you can work on things with your swing and see if they work, see if they don't work, and you don't really have the pressure of, like if I go 0 for 3 this game, like my stats are going to get hurt, so it's like a good avenue to try new things out.
Yeah,
for sure.
How was the jump up to A-ball, like when you got your first taste, like in the competitive environment? Because obviously San Jose was in the playoff race for them, and you guys ended up playing against Modesto there, but
right.
How was that kind of first big jump in competition going up to professional ball?
It was good. I felt like I fit right in. The pitchers in Arizona, I'd say, were pretty similar, so I've been facing pretty similar competition. I guess the thing with Arizona is guys just have a little less control sometimes. Everybody throws pretty hard, but it was really, really cool and exciting just being a part of that playoff race. Just all those guys who have been a part of that team the whole year, just seeing how much they cared about it, and just like going in there and trying as hard as I can to help out those guys that have been there all year, working their butt off to get there. So that was special, and I know it meant a lot to the guys that we were able to come up and give it our all to try to win the playoff race. But honestly, it just really excited me for what's to come, just because there wasn't too much pressure, I'd say, of having to like forcing you to do good, because it's just like you can go up there and you can just play really freely. And we were only up there for like 10 or so games, and it's really hard to gauge with 10 games of, oh, like you're doing bad, you're doing good. It's like everything always evens out. When a 160 game season, like it all seems to even out, it feels like. So I feel like it's really hard to gauge whether, oh, like you did good or you did bad within like a 10 game span. Like obviously if you go off, like it's a different story, but
Yeah, but I mean, in those 9-10 games, you had 5 extra base hits, 4 doubles and a bomb. Like, how'd that feel?
Yeah, it felt great. It just gives me the confidence that will keep pushing me through, just knowing that what I got is ready and good, and it's going to continue to keep getting better. So
yeah. So coming off that, I know you kind of mentioned some of the stuff you're going to work on. Do you have like any plan? I know you've told us you're going to school right now. You're back in school. Do you have any plans for like, where you're working out this year? I know like they have the facility in Scottsdale. They have, I believe every year around in the wintertime, they'll bring a lot of the younger players up to Oracle Park at one point for like a few days.
Right.
Do you have kind of any plans like specifically like that, or is it just kind of?
So one good thing about going to school right now is like I'm at the facilities pretty much every day, and it's a great avenue for me to work out and utilize my program that the Giants are giving me to just free and easy place to work out that I've called home for a while. So I plan on being there for a good amount of it, and then my agent has stuff in Newport Beach that I have access to all the time. So I have some really good avenues to help me improve my game during this off season.
Good, nice.
Did you come across any guys in the minors that you played college ball with, or came across against at either Point Loma or USD?
I did. So I played in the Cape League last year, and Xander Darby. I'm sure you guys know Xander.
Mm-hmm.
He was on my YD team, so we knew each other. We were good friends, and I was watching the draft after I got picked by the Giants, and I saw that the Giants picked him, and I texted him right away. I was so happy. I was like, oh, I got a friend. And I feel like just playing with so many like guys in summer ball and in college, especially when you transfer, it's just like you have a good opportunity to like have someone drafted that you like know and are close with. So that was really cool. I did play against one in the regional against Oregon. I think his name was Brock Moore. I think we were down. This is just probably one of the coolest stories from college, but I faced him when we were down 4-1, I think, and I hit a 3-run homer to tie it in the 8th inning. We ended up going to lose the game, but I ended up seeing him in Modesto when we played them, and they put him in to face me, and it was cool. It's just like, yeah. I mean, he threw me a lot of sliders. He didn't want to give me the fastball again, but it was cool. I think that was definitely a full circle moment of like facing him in college, and I got him in college, and then he kind of circled back and he threw one at me too. So
yeah.
So
you haven't had to face any former teammates yet, though?
I have not. No.
Okay.
Honestly, wouldn't mind it just because I've seen him all multiple times.
It's true.
It is funny you talked about your the interest from the Tigers and possibly drafting you. I did see they drafted one of your USD teammates, right?
Yep.
Okay, that'll be interesting to see down the road if you guys come across each other. Maybe when you get up to Richmond or something.
Yeah, that will be cool. He's a good arm. He's a power arm. He's like high 90s, and he's got good stuff. So that'll be fun. I hope to face him like again. He got me in the fall, and then in the spring I think I got him a little bit more, but I think it's a good matchup.
Yeah. Do you have any goals for next season? Like anything specific that you're really looking for in your first full season?
I say like, I don't know if I have any like stat goals yet. Obviously I want to hit as many homers and extra base hits as I can, utilize my power. But I think the main thing is really just, staying healthy and being consistent. I think that those two goals will get me to, that statistical goal. If I'm not healthy and if I'm not consistent, then I won't do those things. So I think more importantly than the statistics right now is like working towards those things of staying healthy. And, that's what we have the off season for. It's like preparing your body and doing the right things and feeling your body the right way in order to sustain that next season. And, that's what I'm aiming to do. So
health is wealth.
Yeah.
Yep. Sure is.
Yeah. I know Bryce Eldridge obviously recently has mentioned like how beneficial it's been being able to play every day basically for,
right.
I mean, obviously you guys get Mondays off, but like playing essentially every day for, 5+ months or whatever the season ends up being. And
right.
That'll be great.
Right.
So. Do you guys have any more questions? I have one from Cameron that he wanted me to ask.
It's kind of off topic, but I was just curious, like coming up, like as a fan, or just playing the game and whatnot, was there like any players in particular that you kind of like not so much idolized, but that you looked up to, like when you're growing up?
This is like, I feel like I get so much hate for, I don't know about hate, but it's just like such a random player that I just like really liked. When I was growing up, I liked Will Myers on the Padres.
Nice.
Like, he was versatile. He was like tall build frame, like me, kind of, like power guy sometimes. Played a lot of positions. I just feel like it was like, he was such a good guy. Like, I think we saw him in like Costco one time. I think this might be why. Like, he was just a nice guy. Like, if you didn't know that he played in the MLB, like, he wouldn't go out and tell you. But it's kind of a sneaky player that I like is Will Myers.
Yeah,
respect.
Yeah, probably with all the Padres fans, if you just told them that you liked Will Myers in Tampa, they would be like, right on.
Yeah, no, that's like
probably what it is.
That's a staple of like one of the OG fans. I feel like if you go up to somebody like, I like Will Myers, and like, I like you,
Yeah.
Will Myers is solid. He was a giant killer too.
Yeah,
he was,
bro. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, we had that here for us, for a lot of us that are in the Bay Area that are Warrior fans. People always talked about how everyone jumped on the bandwagon, and it's like when you were rooting for guys back in the early 2000s when they were just terrible for a long time.
Right.
Just a badge of honor.
Yeah. Then just one more from me. I was going to ask, totally separate from baseball, like just in your personal life, you got any like hobbies you want to share, or anything about you in particular that fans should know?
Yeah. I love the outdoors. I feel like it's a good getaway from not only life, but the sport can be very consuming, and just like all things were, like such as work and other things that are very consuming mentally and physically. I feel like it's good to have some sort of escape. So being in San Diego, I like to go to the beach, I like to fish, just all things with nature. Really, I love to camp and whatnot. So I'm really connected with the outdoors. I feel like it's like a really good place where I can just reset my mind, and it definitely helps me, especially if things aren't going great, then get outside and, reset my mind and come back, circle around. So.
Sure. Yeah.
Do you like hiking, hunting, camping?
Yeah. All that stuff.
Just anything.
All that stuff.
Nice.
There's some little hidden treasures up in the Bay Area, man. Once you get up around here, there's cool little scenery spots, little hiking spots, cool little falls and whatnot. You go explore. It's awesome.
I was when we were in San Jose, I went up to the mountains in Santa Clara and just kind of drove through those mountains. It was just beautiful. there were deer and turkey everywhere. I just like stop my car and take a look at the turkey, and the people behind me like beep, and I'm just looking at the animal. It's just awesome. Get distracted easily when it comes to that stuff and all things hunting.
Yeah. When you get into the Northwest League, you'll see, man, it's everywhere. You'll see like elk, and I've had like to stop for a bear crossing the road before.
Now that's sick.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. But I have one last baseball question in here. We have Cam. He's been on the show before, a friend of the show. He coaches high school ball, and he just wanted me to ask, what tips do you have for establishing such a smooth swing path? And then what are your thoughts when you're stepping into the box?
That's definitely a good one. I'll start with, thoughts in the box. I try to keep it very simple. I feel like it's hard to think when you're in the box, and it's really good to have your own personalized approach. And my hitting approach would, to sum it down, is basically just to be on the fastball. Simply said, when you're on time for the fastball, you can, recognize other pitches, and you're on time for everything if you hit the fastball. If you're in a good ready position to hit when that fastball is coming, and you're in a good ready position to hit when the breaking ball is coming, that's where I want to be. But in regards to telling myself in the box, I just say see the ball, be easy. And obviously if I need to change that, I could like change it to maybe see it deep, or just other things like that, stay through it. But I try to keep it small, like maybe one-liners that just keep me focused on the pitch, but also just like my mission as well. And then swing path, I would say a lot of things that helped me were one-handed drills. If there was one tip that I would give, someone to shorten their swing path and make it smoother, it'd just be one-hand drills. And whether that be, I like to start on knee sometimes, just because when you start on the knee and do one-hand drills, it really takes the lower half out of it, and it really just focuses on the swing path itself. So I feel like that definitely helped me as well. My hitting progression would kind of start on a knee, one hand, and then I get up, and then one hand again, and then I go two hands with a short bat. I think the short bat is a really good tool that is often overlooked, but short bat is really good for swing path and stuff. That really helped me. So
nice, thanks.
Just curious, are you fond of the axe handles? Or you
I do feel I have swung them before. Just depends. I have big hands, so it's kind of hard. I definitely don't mind them. Yeah. So I feel like I'm still kind of in the process of trying out a lot of wood bats. I like Victus and Marucci and Old Hickory, but I want to try them all because there's just so many wood bats. It's like once you find a model that's like literally built for you, then you almost never go back. I feel like I'm close to where that is. So
now, so far, do you like?
Go ahead, Rick. Sorry.
So far, do you like maple, ash, or birch more?
I'm a maple guy right now, at least. Yeah. So I don't think I've swung ash or birch this year. So I mean, maybe in the future, test it out and just see, which one. But I'm maple right now. I have a lot of maple bats.
Okay.
Did you change bats at all during the season, or is this just going to be something that you mess with in the off season and just kind of nail it down?
I changed bats several times not during the college season. I found one bat that I liked and I stuck with it, and it was the Clout, the Rawlings Clout. But this year, before I had like the bats that I got for my agents and stuff, I was swinging like team bats, which was like Old Hickory, Dovetail. I liked Old Hickory and Dovetail. Those were the two bats that I was kind of swinging before I got my shipment of like Marucci and Victus. But once I got my own custom Victus bats, I really liked those, and then I broke them all, and I had to swing Dovetail again. Which they're all pretty similar bats. It's just all about feel. How they feel in your hands, how the weight distribution is. I mean, it definitely plays a big part of when you're hitting. Sometimes you'll break the one bat you really love, and you just never feel the same. So
for sure.
That's awesome. Do you guys have any more for him?
No, I think I'm good.
No question. Just nice to meet you, man. You're awesome.
Great.
It's cool.
Great to meet you guys as well. Be in touch.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining us. I hope everybody enjoyed this. Obviously, big thanks to Jacob for doing this. And hopefully we'll, have you again in the future. Maybe we can do a live next time, but
let's see how this one goes, and then
see how that goes. But and everybody watching, keep an eye on him next season. Definitely get the minor league TV next year so you can watch him. I'm guessing probably did they tell you probably San Jose to start next season?
I'm not too sure. Kind of to be determined. I think it depends on spring training too, so you never know, really.
Yeah,
I'll be there.
Sweet.
Yeah. I know. I want to get down to Arizona one of these years and hit spring training again. I haven't been there for spring training in probably 15 years or so now. So
I'm excited to do my first spring training. It'll be cool. I'm excited to meet like the big leaguers and the top guys in the org too. So
yeah, for sure.
It's cool. Nice. All right. Well, thanks everybody. I hope you guys, everyone watching this enjoyed this, and catch you all next time. And go Giants.
Go Giants.